Did y'all think it was too early to let Frank go?
I don't know. They did exactly what they needed to do. That man, I mean, he was getting fired after the season regardless. But after that last game we watched him in the play calling, you knew this man was just preying on Bryce's downfall. He didn't care. He wasn't trying to call any type of good game because he's trying to let the world know, hey, I'm right. I didn't want this guy. Tepper
It's so
wanted him.
stupid.
Yeah,
It's such a stupid, dangerous
he's
game to play, bro.
but he did it because I mean it's pretty crazy that he kind of lasted this far to be honest with you, especially when he leaked the comments saying, "Yeah, like this is the guy Tepper wanted." I was a little bit more infatuated with this other guy that just so happens to be doing well, like really well. That's you should have
He ain't
known.
wrong though.
Yeah,
He ain't
the,
wrong.
the minute a head coach does that, maybe that's the time to cut him. But yeah, it's great because getting him out the door now it just helps the healing process for Bryce Young. Now there is a little bit of a clock on Bryce Young now because a new coach is going to come in and he's got maybe a year or two to impress him. Because the new coach is going to come in and he's going to be like, "That's not my guy." And if he doesn't work out this year, then I'm getting my guy so I can succeed. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, they fired him. Perfect time. Got to get him out of there. He's hurting the team purposely. It's messed up. Honestly, it's so childish.
I feel like if if Frank had kept his comments in house or to himself,
Oh, yeah.
they probably would have let him ride out the season because they ain't really got a lot they're working with on offense, and Bryce is still developing. They might have rode it out, but he would be on one of the hottest seats you've probably ever seen next year because he was brought in to be the head coach and develop this guy. With that said, though, I mean, can you blame Frank Wright? You're consistently losing games because you got this guy in here that isn't he wasn't what he was before he came out, and they still went with him, and now they're expecting you to fix him. You know what I'm saying? And you already got a bad taste in your mouth because that's not the guy you wanted because you know what the other guy can do, and now it's evident that's what he's doing. And D'Amico Ryans is winning games. He's losing games, and now his job is in jeopardy. He's working with a kid that he really doesn't, I guess, can't fix. So I'm not saying that he's unfixable, but he can't unlock him. You know what I'm saying? Because his mindset's in the wrong place. But I mean, you're internally battling with yourself because you're like, yeah, see, I was fucking right. You're screaming from the mountaintops that you're right, but at the same time, you're every game you're losing, you're getting closer and closer to getting fired, and that's what happened, dude. I mean, it sucks for him because he was right. If they would have went with what he said, I mean, but at the end of the day, the big man gets what he wants, dude. If he wants to take a long snapper from North Dakota State, number 1 overall, that's what's happening. That's the guy who's signing the
Thank
check.
God Frank is out of here. Get him out of
Yep.
here. Nobody, no, nobody. Like, look, man. I'm gonna tell you the truth, right? If you wanted this guy, okay, CJ is balling now, and I commend CJ. I personally, before last season even stopped, I said I wanted CJ. But at this point, right now, I'm not going to sit here and say Bryce is just a straight bust. Bryce don't have nothing around him. And for you to run this system that you were running, Frank is just a terrible coach. There's a reason he got fired last year from Indy. At the beginning of the season, I thought maybe it could work. But there's a reason he got fired from Indy last year because he is just not the coach needed. Yo, the QB coach, league, get him out of here too. The offense coordinator, get him out of here too. We don't need none of them guys from his coaching staff. You know, I don't care if we drafted Bryce. At the end of the day, whether Tepper wanted him, whether Frank wanted him, whether whoever wanted him, Bryce is a Carolina Panther. He is our future. It does not matter who wanted him. If you was really that opposed to having Bryce Young, you should have quit the day after we drafted him. But at the point that you take the job and say, "Oh, I'm going to be the Carolinas coach," and you stay on the job, you can't do what you did. There are plays where it's 3rd and 8, and he's trying to run it. Why?
I saw that shit.
Yo, he was doing blatant stuff just to prove that Bryce was not the guy. Which is, look, at this point, I hope Frank never get another job.
Yeah.
And I'll be cool with that. I've been talking lately about hardball. I wouldn't mind, we going to Michigan, take hardball, bring them in. I talked about Bill, but I really don't want Bill no more. You
Oh,
know,
what?
I really don't want Bill no more. I'm at the point that I want one of the Johnsons. I either want Ben Johnson or Brian Johnson.
Okay.
Ben
What about
Johnson,
Bieniemy? I thought you want to
huh?
be enemy. I thought you wanted
I'll
Bieniemy.
take Bieniemy too. I'll take Bieniemy too. But he kind of old. He kind of older. Whatever. Ben Johnson in Detroit right now, the offensive coordinator in Detroit, because that's what we're saying. We're going to go get us one of them young, offensive minded for Bryce, and that's what we need. Or we go get Brian Johnson from Philly. At this point, good riddance, Frank. And Frank, whenever they come calling and another team say they want you, I hope Tepper do dirt on your name, and I hope they don't even look at you. I
So
hope
it's
you're
on site.
somewhere at some D3 college and be stuck there. Honestly, Frank.
Oh. It's on site then.
At this point, I hope you're in middle of nowhere coaching middle school, Frank.
So let me ask y'all a question. Does this make Frank Reich another Josh McDaniel? Is he just an offensive coordinator and he just will never make it as a head coach?
I'd say this though, he will get another job. I don't know if it's gonna be a head coaching, but he'll get a job as an OC or being on the scouting department because like how we're talking, like we're not even on the inner circle of the NFL, but we can see with our eyes, you know what I'm saying, that he definitely wanted Stroud and not Bryce because even in college, even as great as Bryce Young was, he could see the inefficiencies that I guess everyone else was blind to, but they felt obligated to take him number one because say you don't take him number one and Bryce turns out to be that guy and you take Stroud, it's like Greg Oden and Kevin Durant type stuff. You know what I'm saying?
And
Because no one's gonna blame them for taking Bryce number one. Because at the time, it was a clear choice. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be risky, you take Stroud. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. Hey, but I like Frank as a coordinator. I think he's a sharp enough football mind to coordinate an offense. He'll have to work his way back
Oh yeah.
because this is like what is this his second time being fired
in the
in the span
same
of
in
like
2 years.
5 years?
No, 2 years. He was
Yeah,
fired
2 years.
last year and he was fired this year. Oh yeah, and let me give a shout out to that other clown that got fired. Thank God, Josh McCown. I just want to put his name out there.
Oh,
He's supposed to be
yeah.
a quarterback guru. Fucking clown. Fuck out of
Yeah.
here.
He was another one that said he didn't want Bryce. Man, that's crazy that there's a whole offensive staff that was saying that shit. That there must have been something else going in that war room when they were about to draft quarterbacks. They must have really felt opposed to this.
But that man's here now.
Yeah,
That man's
it's just
here.
crazy. It's just crazy.
Like we're
I don't know. Like I said, bro, it was a stupid stance to take. Like, like it's only gonna the amount that you guys gave up just to get him in the door at that, you know what I'm saying? To get Bryce in the door. And then as a coach, you're gonna sit there and pout and be a sourpuss because you didn't get your guy. You don't want to work with him or like that. They're not gonna get rid of Bryce, dude. They would never do that.
bro.
So I mean, he kind of played himself, dude.
And the thing I want, like, bro, and it'd be
Pride
different.
is the devil. Like
It'd be
J. Cole
different
said.
if Bryce was devoid of talent, bro. They said look, bro, before the draft, they were saying that Bryce was 6'3", 6'4". There'd be no doubt that Bryce would be the number one overall pick, right? Which means at 5'10", okay, he's
That's
like whatever.
discrimination.
At 5'10", 5'11", okay, all that means is you got to put him in a good system that he could work in. But that means his talent, he got all the talent in the world. He just got to be in the right system. Because you could say if he was 6'3", 6'4", there's no doubt who would be the number one pick, and he'll be a generational talent.
Yeah, but also, I mean, just thinking about it now, too, I mean, that offense is, like we're just saying, he's a great offensive mind and all that stuff like that. That offense was hot garbage.
Terrible.
You know what I'm saying?
Our interior
It was
linemen are
terrible.
terrible.
You go and you pay Miles Sanders all that money and you're not even using him. He's unusable, I guess. He's that bad. He's unusable. You know what I'm saying? Then, you draft another receiver. You bring in a couple, aging guys who used to be okay. You're telling me you can't scheme up something to give them some little layups to start the game off? You know what I'm saying? Like scheme up some halfback passes, something across. I don't know. I feel as though which is so crazy that they beat the Texans. That's their only win too. But I feel like there's not a lot of effort put into, seeing this through on Frank Wright, and he deserved to be fired, and that's his fault. He did it to himself.
I ain't gotta get that clown out of here, and I'm gonna stick by that, and I can care less, Frank.
Bring Cliff Kingsbury in, bro. He'll fix him.
Nah, we cool on that. But Frank, hey man, I hope you coach in Pop Warner somewhere. Goofy ass.